Hi, welcome back. I hope you had a good holiday and that you've enjoyed the break and looking forward to starting off in semester two. So you're going to sit off now with the electives, and I just want to go briefly through a brief explanation of how we envisage the electives working, why we set the projects up in the manner we have, how you can or should approach them, and how you should manage your time over the next 7 weeks, which is a vital part of what we're going to do. So, firstly, let's look at exactly what this is, what the electives are. You have at present selected 3 electives, and you did this prior to Christmas, so you're going to now engage over the 7 weeks in those 3 electives. What you have is one overarching project that will be engaged with through the 3 disciplines that you have chosen. It's the same one project that you will be developing and expanding on throughout the 7 weeks of the elective. It's important that you understand this, that it is one project in its entirety, as this means that all your research, all your ideas are useful, relevant and connected to each of the 3 areas that you choose to work in. It also means that all the work that you make in one area is not only relevant in the other areas, but should in fact be an integral and helpful part of how you're going to engage with the other disciplines, okay, with each of the areas. So firstly, if we look at the aim of the module, we want you to develop a body of work, not 3 separate bodies of work, okay? It's very important that what you're trying to do is develop a body of work based around your ideas that you've developed around the given project. So like the first semester's project, this isn't about making a slick finished piece for each of the elective things, but rather about exploring the possibilities that each of your chosen area offers, seeing how each area can influence, can assist and can combine to help you create a way of working and to create a body of work over this time. Okay. Now it's not going to be easy. So firstly, don't be fooled by 7 weeks as a time frame. 7 weeks is not a long time. It's definitely not a long time when you understand that you're being introduced to 3 different areas during that time, as well as being asked to develop your own ideas on the project as a whole. So time management in this case is going to be vital. You're going to be asked to assign approximately 2 weeks to each elective. That's kind of how it's been scheduled out. The first week we're looking at developing ideas, which is this week that we're now embarked on. And by next Monday, you're going to have started off into the 6 weeks, which will bring you through the 3 different areas you've chosen electives. So how and when you engage with each of these is your decision. And this is a vital part of it. You decide how you engage with each of the areas, okay? And this should be decided by where your ideas and your work are leading you. So I will explain this in more detail in a second, but firstly, if you use the first week, this week, to brainstorm, to mind map, to collect visuals, get research and get yourself a starting point, I would encourage you to remember the first semester at this point. Remember how you approached the first project that you received, and the mistakes and successes that you made with your initial approach to this project. It's important that you learn from this, because time is valuable and you don't have weeks to waste deciding what you're going to do, or the opportunity to change what you're doing in 6 weeks time like you had in semester 1. This is short and sharp and concise. So I would advise you to choose something simple that offers you visuals, that you can see possibilities for development from the outset from. Don't overcomplicate things or set out to solve the world's problems. Choose a path that will allow the work you make to be an integral part of the process of the development, if that makes sense. So that as you make something, it leads you to the next thing, or at least shows you different options that you can bring into each area. Okay? That's what happens over the first week. Try and get yourself up and running, get ideas of where you're going to go, get backup research, locate things that are going to give you information. Exactly as we encouraged in the first semester, but I think now you have a better understanding of what was happening in the first semester. It should be easier for you to understand what would be necessary for this. So each discipline area is going to be holding workshops on Mondays, as they did last semester, and you'll be able to sign up for these in the same manner, obviously only within the 3 that you have chosen. So you're not picking out of all 9 different or 8 different areas or 9 different areas. So this will work in the same way as it did last semester. Okay, so Mondays will still be a workshop day. The workshops will be repeated at various points throughout during the module. Okay, so and this will allow should allow students to connect with the different areas at different times, because everyone is going to be coming to their different areas at a different point. Okay, they won't, however, be available on demand. So it's important that you keep an eye on all 3 of your elective choice notice boards on Moodle throughout the project, so that you can plan your engagement accordingly. And this is it just means that you'll be able to look on Moodle and see where the different areas are, or the different workshops are going, and then as they're pertinent to the work you're making, you should be able to join into them. Okay, so we're aware that not everyone will be able to participate in certain workshops. Again, size and space are going to obviously have an impact on certain things. Space is slightly limited, as always, excuse me, more so in some workshops from others. So with that in mind, we've asked staff to take this into consideration and to make as much room as possible in their proposed workshops, and to consider carefully how many students can access workshops before setting them up. So having said that, if there is no room left in the workshop that you're looking to get into, look, it's not the end of the world. It will most likely be repeated, and I would suggest that you have a backup plan of another workshop in this eventuality. A list of the workshops that each area will be running is going to be posted by the end of this week. Not necessarily the dates are there, but a list of the type of workshops that are going, and this should help you decide on your jumping off point for next Monday. So if you can identify something as a starting point, get the research, get some drawings, get some imagery together for that, and then you'll know as you go into the workshop how it's going to affect or impact or assist in your development over the next week. Okay, so on top of that, each discipline may also do short informal workshops on other days. These might be an hour long or 2 hours, depending on what the staff are trying to show or what the students are looking for. And they may only happen on studio days with the students that are engaged in that area during the week. So it's important that students are in and that you're actively working on the campus throughout the module. So I can't stress the importance of the next item we're going to do. Is that some of you may already know what you are interested in, or what discipline you are have your heart set on going into. Okay, and you may be quite set on this specific discipline. Do not forsake the other 2 electives in order to concentrate on this one specific one. I can understand why it can happen, and I've seen it happening where students have decided that animation is all I want, therefore I'm only going to do animation over the 6 or 7 weeks, or any of the other subject matters. But this will work against you. Okay, it won't assist you in getting into animation. It will be detrimental to your marks at the end of it, but also detrimental to the educational possibilities within the module. Okay, because it'll demonstrate a lack of understanding of the basic demands of the module, and a lack of understanding of the importance of exploring ideas and idea development through different medias and processes. We have set this up so that you start to see how each different discipline can impact the other, and how each thing brings something else to the development of the work. And it's crucial that you engage in all 3 areas that you have chosen. Your time management is going to be very important in this, and it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to work out how you engage with this and how you move it forward. So get a starting point this week, choose a workshop or an area that you can begin to make work with for Monday. And remember that you're going to be spending approximately 2 weeks working in each chosen discipline. So I would suggest setting aside things in weeks at a time rather than in days. So if, for example, you start with a fashion workshop, then allow yourself that week, at minimum, to explore and develop your ideas. That way you're able to get involved with the staff, the ideas, the work you're making, and you give it time for things to happen within it. Remember, on a week is really only 4 studio days. It's very short because you're taking CCS out of there and you've got tutorials and other things in there. So during this week, you can assess how your project is going, where the work is leading you, look at what's going on in the other studios of your chosen electives. Again, vitally important that you understand what is being offered by the other electives, and then you can decide what the next step for your project is. At the end of the week, you might wish to continue it in, say, fashion for a second week, in order to expand on your initial ideas, or you may see that one of the other electives is offering you something that will allow you to expand the thinking and the direction of your project, and then you choose the next workshop based on that, based on assessing where your work is and what's happening elsewhere or what's happening within the different areas you've chosen. And you give yourself a week or two to immerse yourself in the next area, bringing forward the work that you had done in the first semester, in the first week. Okay, so I would advise it against doing a day here and a day there at the outset. It's very hard to get a feel for any area, or to develop the work, or to get an understanding of how you can develop the work if you're going to chop and change too much. So attend the workshops, talk to the tutors, seek advice, engage with tutorials, and once you have a better understanding of what it is you're trying to accomplish and what it is that the various areas offer, then by all means you can move fluidly or as fluidly as you can between them, where you may want to do something for a day somewhere and then continue it in a different medium or different process in a different area for another day. That's fine, but I would certainly say at the start, throw yourself into something, give it a week minimum to at least start and get it up and developed. Okay? The areas you've chosen will offer you different ways and processes with which you can develop the project, but that is all they are. They are different approaches to problem solving and different processes with which to achieve that. It's your thinking and how you use what is on offer that will help you to develop the project in a successful and engaging manner. So look for the connections. Assess what's on offer, how it can be of benefit to you, and take control of the direction of your work. This project is an introduction to various disciplines. Okay, so it should help you with deciding which area you wish to specialise in later on, but it will hopefully do more than that. Hopefully it will demonstrate to you that all areas are connected and all areas can contribute to how you develop and expand your work as you go forward through the next 3 years of college. This isn't it is a taste of the possibilities of what's offered within different introductions. So, you know, what we're hoping is that you start to understand how things can move and how different areas, even if you've chosen one specific discipline to go ahead, other areas can make an impact on the work that you make in that things. So there's lots of possibilities on it. From a marking point, you will be marked at the end of this by the tutors that are assigned to your group, so your peer tutors, okay, and not by the tutors specific to each of your chosen elective areas. Okay, it's important that you understand that. So with this in mind, you'll have to understand the importance that you engage in the studio and online with the tutors. Okay, you have to post all the work that you're doing on Tumblr and show how the work and the research are developing through the 3 electives. Okay, so as a final point on this, I'd like to remind you that this is your project. Okay, how you engage with it is your responsibility. Like anything, the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. And we're very lucky, I think, in the fact that we can engage with each other in the studios this year, and that we have the flexibility to move between the areas and the process. So please make the most of this. Make the most of the time you have in the college. Come in, engage with this as much as you possibly can. This is a real opportunity for you. And I think the first semester, people just engaged with the workshops. Not everyone, but obviously some people just engaged with the workshops and thought then that they could work outside or work after, but you're missing such an opportunity to engage with the staff that are on the floor, with your peers, and with the other people around, the technicians, everyone who's involved in the place, and really to get to know each other as well. So the first semester can be very overwhelming at the start. I mean, we understand that. I think you probably all understand that as much as we do. But with everything that it entails, with starting college, with an open-ended project, with a new way of working, all those things make it daunting on some levels. And I think it took a little while for people to find their feet and to go through. But you've been through that now. So please look back at the beginning of the first semester and learn from it. And most of all, approach this module with a sense of fun and discovery, and throw yourself into it. It's very short, it's very fast, it should be full on, and it should be very engaging. And we would ask you to give as much time and effort to it as you possibly can. Certainly we will on that, and just enjoy the challenge. Okay, thanks. I have added just at the end of this a small animation which maybe shows you how everything can link and how each of the disciplines can lead into each other, and can show you maybe possibly how to enjoy making it. Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, you're on mute. Okay, we'll start with you, Shifra, if you can go. I don't know what to do, really. Well, look, what's your initial idea? If we just start with your initial idea and we'll see what it is then. Well, I'm looking at the global movement of fashion and how that industry has shaped our society through the ages, and its use of media, advertising and shameless pandering to consumers' instinct. Have you anything else? Trees? Wind? Maybe? Yeah, well, we might go with that, I think. Okay? So, how'd you get on, Shifra? Well, I started with ceramics, and I got some mark-making tools out of twigs and some charcoal, and I did some drawings. And then I got my sister's bedsheet and a toilet brush and some turmeric paste, and I made washes of the clouds, just like I was told. And then I got some potatoes, and I inked them up, and I looked at the patterns that the trees had made earlier, and I cut them, and I did a repeat pattern over the whole thing. And then I did photographs while I was doing that, so I took a photograph each time I did a print, and I made a stop-motion animation out of it. And then I cut it up, and I looked at Alexander McQueen's Highland Rape for inspiration, and I made an outfit stuck together with safety pins and paper clips with the material. And then I got my little sister to wear it, and I took my brother's head torch and I filmed it on a catwalk in my hallway and made a video of it. And then I made a magazine, and I used one of the stills from the film on the front of it of my sister, and I just looked at text and how that worked on it in an advertising way. And then I crumpled it all up and I put it on a plinth, and I stuck it outside the Oxfam shop in town, just to look at our consumerist society and how we throw things away. So that was all I did. But thanks for telling me to look at trees. Yeah, because that was a real help. Thanks. Oh, okay. No worries.